Well, Exia Repair, it's been tons of fun, but I gotta let you go. And after a few minutes of putting those parts on and off, kinda nervous, kinda anxious and everything, here he is, guys, finally, Master Grade Exia in his simplest form. And those parts, getting them on and off and stuff, it was actually a lot easier than I thought. And I gotta say, at first, when I looked at the pieces and everything in the manual, I was afraid. Man, I was petrified.
I will survive!
But like I said, all that stuff, getting it on and off, all those pieces and everything, turns out a lot of them were actually, a lot easier for part swapping. And I think they're actually made for part swapping. Because you guys know how normally parts come together through pegs. Well, a lot of these parts came together and hold together onto the inner frame through these tabs rather than pegs. Which makes it a lot easier for removal and just the parts sliding on and off wherever they hold. So good call, Bandai. It's as if you guys knew we were going to be struggling with that. As for details though, yeah, I don't really think we need to be going over that. Check out the holographic effects on the GN stripes though. Yeah, I think they work pretty good, right? I pretty much covered most of his articulation in the last review for Exia Repair, but there are some things that I didn't really go over, so let me just talk about those real quick. His hands are the basic Master Grade hands with the ball jointed thumb, the index finger, and then the other fingers are all together. I guess you could try to separate those, but I wouldn't try it seriously because the ball joints don't seem to hold all that well, and for the thumb especially, it looks like it sticks out. It looks like it's about to pop off anytime soon. I also seem to have this this consistent problem, and I noticed a lot of people have this problem too. But for my right wrist, it pops off too damn much. And I don't know what to do to fix that. What I also did notice is the white part on the top of the hand doesn't hold out that well, so I might have to resort to gluing that in. You also have these chest panels right here. They're posable, so that when you're posing the upper body, everything looks all fluid. Back here, of course, you got his GN beam saber and handle daggers. For the handle daggers, you know what to do here. It's nothing new, but what I like about the beam saber handles is they're actually posable. So if you want to pose them, and like let's say, remember back in the first episode when he whooped on that enact and he had to grab his beam saber handles? I mean, you guys know how he grabs the beam saber handles. So it really looks good when you want to pose them that way. It makes it a lot easier. There's also something to be said about the feet. I mentioned in the Exia Repair review how there's a problem with the ankles. And yeah, a lot of people, myself included, have found some problems trying to get my Exia to pose and stand up straight, or just stand. What you want to try to do is there's two ball joints, one on top and one on the bottom. You want to push the ankle joint from the top all the way back, and then just try and pose with the bottom ball joint, and then use these two panels, these two armor pieces, they both move by the way, as a form of stability. So just kind of lock it down in place. Try that for now, see if that works. You guys like accessories? I love accessories. You guys like fully armed Gundams? I love them too, especially Exia. So you guys already seen the beam sabers and the beam daggers, and here are the effect parts. They actually come straight off the parts trees that you get from the 1/100 scale no grade. So that I can set all that stuff aside. Now we could start off with his basic weapons, which are his GN long and short blade covered with these silver plated edges that you can only get with the ignition mode set, so sorry some of you guys. And the way you attach it onto his hips is you bring out these panels that come out from his hip joints, giving him these childbearing hips, and then you can take these hidden ball joints that are just hidden right in between the gap, and you swing it out. There's a ball joint right there just sticking out, and then there's a hole right underneath the base of the GN's blades, and you just peg it on and it snaps fit. But one thing I find that kind of is a problem is once those things are out, you can't really turn the thighs as far out as you can because they're in the way. And also the white pieces, they kind of like to fall out a lot too, so you want to glue those in. Next you got his shield, which is really no different from the original one, except it's better panel line, looks a lot more aggressive and beefier, and these blue panels on the side can actually open and close just for a little bit of playability, I guess. And then you can attach it onto the arms like you would at any Exia. Just clips in there. If it lets me clip it in. There you go. And it can rotate on that same clip, so yeah, you can get some poses out of that. Really nice shield. Problem with the shield though, as cool as it looks, is when you have it on the side completely, it hits that GN stripe. So sometimes you have to resort to turning the arm a little bit to the side, off any direction, just as long as it's not hitting that the GN stripe. And now his main weapon, which is the GN sword, all clad in plated silver. Right there, entire blade, and just right there in the little GN pistol. I call it pistol because it's so small. Of course, you can attach it onto Exia like you normally would with any other Exia. And you also have a little feature here where you can collapse the whole assembly in. And like I said in the Exia repair review, the clip doesn't hold in there all that well, but to show you guys how it looks on Exia, who gives a damn about that feature? This is what you want. Of course, you have the light up GN drive, which kind of takes some time to get on. As you can see. Now, if and when you can get that damn thing to light up, it gives her a great look. Then when you take it around the back, you can actually open up these little panels here to give it that GN drive burst mode, I guess you can call it. And then in turn, you can also pull out the tip of the GN drive so that it shines a little bit better. You know, kind of like Exia repair too. And then for playability purposes, you can have the GN battery, which you can just swap out for the GN drive. Then you have this little clear base that you can, choose to paint gray or whatever to give it more of a realistic feel. You can hold the GN drive in here, or you can just, place the GN battery. It tells you it just sits there. It doesn't clip in or anything. It just sits there. You also get an in-scale Horobot and an unpainted Setsuna figure. There's one for the cockpit that I didn't show, but that's only because I think I might have lost it. But oh well. Now these aren't really accessories, but you do get dry transfer decals and some clear stickers. The dry transfer decals are majority just warning symbols and stuff like that. But right here, the clear stickers are really impressive. They're trimmed down really, really close, and provided you put them on, you're going to get a really good looking Exia. I'm going to put those on later, but I'm pretty sure it's going to look real good. After getting all those swords on, all 7 swords and the shield, then you get one of the most badass looking Gundams I've ever seen. And just to get a better look of exactly how much Exia is packing, I think the back shot is where it really shows, because you can get to see the daggers, beam sabers, the GN sword, long and short blades, shield, everything. Alright, so let's take a look at some of the poses, but this one right here I gotta start off with, because it's one of his lamest poses, honestly. Like, it looks clean, it looks simple, it's just a simple ready stance, but the fact that the legs can't really go out any further, I don't know what else you could try to do with this, but there are plenty of ground-based poses you can get Exia into. While you have him in the 7-sword system, that's probably not the best way you can pose Exia, because these swords get in the way of you posing it any better. Seriously, I tried that and I was getting frustrated. Now that's what I'm talking about. Even better. Yeah, flawless. Beam sabers, beam daggers. So I can find that you can pose Exia on the ground and make it look sexy. Or you can get an action base and do your Exia some justice, and it'll look even more sexier. So getting an action base is kind of required. So to close, guys, I gotta say that my opinion is probably not that much different from everyone else's, and I think this kid is pretty damn awesome. It was pretty fun in a lot of phases, just the whole build phase, working with all these different things like the holographic pieces, part swapping, the silver plated pieces, getting the LED unit to work. On top of all that, this kit actually has to have quirks. That's something that's something I'll admit. It's got quirks. It's got the weird ankles. It's got, you got to get the 4 LR41 batteries, and depending on where you're at, they're either cheap or expensive. And my LED unit is actually acting up right now, but it's something that takes time for you to get it to work properly. And then the right wrist that likes to pop off for I don't know whatever reason. And I noticed that's actually a consistent problem with a lot of other people's kits too. Yeah, so it's got its quirks, guys, but not enough for you to actually hate the figure. I'm sorry, the model kit. And it's got details. It's a wonderful master grade. You're gonna get details out of the box, so don't even worry about the details. You're gonna get great articulation. They give you a good amount. You got the separate hip joint system thing going on, and I really like that. That was pretty impressive. The torso, it's got great articulation on the torso. Just overall great articulation. And then that allows for great poses. If you're a posability freak, you're going to be super satisfied, especially when you give it an action base. Then you'll definitely make the best out of the poses. And to back that up, you get a handful of accessories to work with. So posability freaks like me, you'll be super satisfied. So guys, you know, overall, it's got its quirks, but in the end, you're definitely gonna be satisfied, and you're gonna enjoy this kit. Yeah, I think this is the end of the review. This is definitely worth your time, effort, and your money. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, end of the review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys later, and as always, thanks for watching. See ya. Hold on. We got something better in mind. Hit it, Exia.